Yo, what's going on, guys? And today we'll be doing our series playoffs preview between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Memphis Grizzlies. If you guys haven't seen this before, we'll do a breakdown of both teams, and then at the very end, last 2 to 3 minutes is my prediction. If you just want to skip there for whatever purposes it may be, go ahead. And I want to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. What do you guys think of this series? What's it going to be the outcome, and what interests you? I want to hear those thoughts. I'd love to hear what you'd have to say. So hit that like and subscribe for more content like this. I'm in Portsmouth, Virginia right now. It's like 5 a.m. But we'll be last day here, scouting players. But let's get right into it. So I think this is going to be a very delightful first round matchup. By the way, if you see me looking off screen, it's because I have my computer with notes on there. And the Oklahoma City Thunder, which I think is the equivalent to a Rolex, a perfectly engineered roster that is going against a high octane attack that I think a few people might underrate them. The Grizzlies, and I'm not going to sit here and be like it's going to be an upset because that'd be preposterous. But I think the key takeaways from the numbers, why the Thunder might just gently dissect the Memphis Grizzlies. Obviously, we're going to say the Thunder have the advantage that they are first in opponents' points per game and field goal percentage. And that's just a fancy way of saying you shall not score politely but firmly. And their efficiency, that they do everything well. And that's from shooting well. They don't turn the ball over. Basically play like they got the game coded and they're robots. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, regardless if you think he's a free throw merchant or not, he gets to the free throw line regularly. And they steal the ball like thieves pickpocketing in a tourist crowd. And then you have Memphis averaging 15 turnovers a game. So good luck with that and trying to control that, because that's going to be the biggest Achilles heels for the Thunder. And we're just going to go first, break down the Thunder, because I think that's the easiest one. Just as basketball fans, we know what to expect with this matchup. It's not going to be one that, so if water, stay hydrated, ladies and gentlemen, one that's going to blow our minds or surprise us. Ja doesn't have a true second creator to help him. And the other thing is, unless like a major injury, specifically to Shai, happens, I really would be stunned if Tomas Isalo, who I think has the makings of a good coach, out coaches and out whizzes somehow Marky Mark Dagnall. And when you look at this roster, Shai, Lou Dort, J-Dub, Chet, Isaiah Hartenstein, then you have like Kasam Wallace, Caruso, Jay Will, and Brandon Clark, just this like depth bigs. This is what the matchup's going to be. Thunder's stars versus what Memphis has right now available to them. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, even though I do believe Nikola Jokic is the best player in the world and is deserving of the MVP, it should be Shai's. He's the best player on the best team. And he scores in isolation like it's just a hobby. And Memphis is going to throw at this point. That's where it becomes interesting. Scottie Pippen's a decent defender, but I don't think he's big enough to guard Shai. And Ja's not doing that. Desmond, is that what you want? I know Vince Williams is a guy that I would like to see there, but like it's Thunder with Shai, he's going to drop 30 every game, and it's going to be somewhat easy, even though the Grizzlies have some defenders in Jaren Jackson Jr., but in Vince Williams, it's just not enough. And Chet Holmgren versus the Grizzlies' physical front court, I do have fears that Zach Edey can give him trouble. I'm not really worried about Jaren Jackson Jr. because he refuses the rebound, but Chet's going to space the floor, block shots. And with Jaren Jackson Jr., he's going to obviously avoid the rim as they're going to be protecting it. So he's going to bring out Zach Edey. And will they be able to just chop him up and get a bunch of points from three? Or is Memphis going to be able to force him to play inside and take away his three-point shot and try to go up against Jaren Jackson Jr. and Zach Edey? Now, I just think, J-Dub, You have yourself as well Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Hartenstein, Lou Dort, Alex Caruso, Kassan Wallace, all these other role players who, yes, they have to go up against Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr., and company, and Ja Morant. I just think we all can agree that the Thunder have a better bench, as it's more trustworthy than Memphis, who's just wait, who's hot tonight approach at this point. And I think you just looked at their elite defense turns Memphis into easy offense, that they run this fun, fast-paced offense as they feast on mistake-filled messes that of the opposing team makes. And SGA is going to do what SGA does, 30-plus points per game. Looks like he's doing it in slow motion. They'll rain threes, while Memphis's defense, bottom 5 in opponents' point per games, is just going to have to wave politely at their shooters as what they'll do as contests, because it won't matter. And they don't turn the ball over because they're disciplined. So it's an uphill battle for the Grizzlies. And I don't want to dish on the Grizzlies because I think they can steal a game. Maybe two. I think that may be me like being a little overzealous at that point. But I think if you look right here at the Grizzlies lineup, I think Vince Williams, he's a solid rebounding wing, really a point of attack defender. Luke Kennard's a floor spacer if they need him. He lost minutes, obviously, to Jay Well, but with him being out for the season, they're going to probably have to need him. And Santi Aldama is their sixth man. He's their go-to guy. Zach Edey got listed twice right here, but I wonder. They also been playing a little bit of Marvin Bagley last game and some John Conchar. So to me, I think when you look at this lineup and this matchup between the Grizzlies, I just took that down because it was fucking awful. And this is how the Grizzlies can steal a couple games against the Thunder, who are the best team in the league. Jaren Jackson Jr. and is going to have to play like the defensive player of the year he was and actually make winning plays and not disappear on offense and grab rebounds. They need to grab like every night more offensive rebounds. They're going to have to force the Thunder to turn the ball over and turn this game into a street fight. But Santi Aldama is going to have to come in, zero remorse, and just go nuclear off the bench. And that's the thing. I think that's the hardest part when you look at this, even though you have a primary creator in Ja Morant. And I love the aggressiveness and the efficiency that Scottie Pippen has as a combo guard in the starting lineup, and then a guy who can run the second unit as the floor general for the basically like a six-man. And they've got a great shooter and a guy who's actually a secondary playmaker in Desmond Bane. Jaren Jackson Jr., 3-and-D, non-rebounding big. And Zach Edey, the behemoth that he is, paint enforcer, rebound vacuum. Now, your thoughts are Santi Aldama, big, versatile, swing big, who can play a little bit of three, that can help you as you can get some mismatches or set up some. You won't get mismatched against a big Thunder team. And John Conchar is another guy who's a sneaky plus defender, who's a hustle glue guy. And Marvin Bagley hasn't been bad for them. He's back up like a third string big who can provide scoring in short spurts. Their defensive best defender is at this point Vince Williams, you could argue, out at the perimeter position. So it becomes hard, dude, like to like spin this in a way that I can be like, oh, there's a shot that the Grizzlies. Also, we're using stats for the Grizzlies since the Tomas Salo takeover, as I thought those were more indicative of what would happen. So, what do I think will happen? Thunder in 5, maybe 6. It's just OKC's too disciplined, too efficient, too deep, and too good for Memphis. That isn't healthy. That, yeah, their offense has been great as of late. And I think Ja Morant is playing phenomenal. The Grizzlies may be able to grab 1 to 2 games by causing chaos and surprising them. But I think the Thunder will win comfortably while maybe having a week or so off before the next round. And I think Memphis fans are fine with that, as they're just going to wait till next year due to the fact that I think they know this year ended up being kind of a hodgepodge mess and they couldn't do anything to control that. So, and they hope they can maybe make a move in the offseason to get them over the hump. And I really think if they, like, I know Kevin Durant isn't the same player he used to be, but he's kind of like the second option at this point that could be cheap enough that it won't gut your team and it won't cost you draft capital that much. So I just don't know who else is going to be not expensive or cost inducing that would be worth it, because everybody else is going to cost too much of your depth or too much of your draft capital. So shout out OKC and shout out to Tomo Salo.